Very forward to this one because this is a match of styles. Instagram, SKS Empire Instagram, or the SKS Empire YouTube and Facebook to watch live fights right here at the heart of Omnoi Stadium.
Okay, so that is round one underway. In the red corner we have Nueng Siam, and in the blue corner is Super Jiao. And, of course, scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds. A very nice start from both fighters. Very active in the first 30 seconds of this round.
So here we are with a classic Orthodox versus Southpaw matchup here. Nueng Siam with a very, very strong left kick. I've actually held pads for Nueng Siam, Jimmy, and I'll tell you what, the young fella, he can pound those kicks in.
We're going to see very soon if those pads have been helping him at all. A very nice teep started off by Super Jiao, but a nice elbow followed up by a teep landed by Nueng Siam. A very active first round for both of these fighters. Both holding the center of the ring right now, and nice right hand upstairs followed by a left to the body by Nueng Siam.
And just as you were saying that, Jimmy, you know, it is a very active first round because normally in these 5-round stadium-style fights, they tend to be a bit slower. They tend to test each other out, but it looks like Nueng Siam just wants to get the job done today.
Yeah, something I do like to see is when they get started very early on. Like, usually in the first round, we do see them taking some time off, finding their range, finding their rhythm, downloading information, but beautiful teep, as we said that by Nueng Siam. Clearly that pad work has been paying off, Joe.
That's right. He's definitely looking to make a statement here early. Nice catch of the teep there from Super Jiao, answering the favour back.
And a nice teep to the thigh by Nueng Siam, and a head kick upstairs by Nueng Siam, taking no time off. Clearly these two fighters want to put themselves away in the first round as they get into the clinch now. And Super Jiao doing a very good job to knee the legs of Nueng Siam, maybe take some of the power away from those thighs.
You know, even on the record, they don't look that much difference in, by numbers in comparison of height. But here in the ring, you can definitely see the difference in height. And if I were in Super Jiao's corner, I'd be telling him to take out that front leg of Nueng Siam.
And I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. As soon as he got him to the ropes, he just started kneeing and stabbing at that thigh. But as we see, a southpaw against an orthodox, it's a battle of the lead leg footwork. Who can get on the outside and deliver that big, powerful kick or punches? Both fighters now in the clinch. The referee has seen enough and is breaking up that clinch. A very nice first round for both of these warriors.
One of those things, Jimmy, that people might not notice is as soon as a fighter will apply that body lock, generally that's the stalemate in the clinch. That's where the referee will tend to break it up because there's not much more action going to continue there from that body lock. So that is the end of the first round. So, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for round 2, 3, 4, and 5 of our first bout of the afternoon.
A very beautiful round by both of these fighters. And just to finish off the action, we saw 2 teeps to the thighs. Let's see some of these action replays. Joe, talk to us about what you can see now. You see that get into the second round, scheduled for 5. And that is it. Round number 2 underway, scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds. And a very fast start by both of these fighters already. And a nice high kick landed early on. Again, a very fast start for these fighters. Usually the first 2 rounds have almost taken some time off, but as you are witnessing right now, in the red corner we have Nueng Siam, and he takes on the blue corner Super Jiao.
You know, interesting enough about Nueng Siam, he's trying to put the pressure on the lead leg there, and interesting for a southpaw because normally they're sitting on the back trying to draw the opponent into the left kick, but it's pretty decent strategy against Super Jiao, who's pretty adept with the punches and the low kicks.
Yeah, and I assume that's going to happen as well with an orthodox against the southpaw, is they're trying to battle for the middle of the ring and also the middle when they're setting up kicks and big shots. As you can see, the lead leg is always trying to be on the outside before that throw that powerful shot. And as we mentioned, that Super Jiao lands a nice body kick, but it is returned by Nueng Siam's head kick, and an elbow onto the temple lands clean for Nueng Siam.
Fighting for position here. Bit of nullification from the red corner, just shifting his weight into the hips of Super Jiao there. Steps in for the elbow, entry to the clinch again.
Both fighters just absolutely crash into each other like two rams just going at one another. They almost locked horns as they both get involved in the clinch. And as you said before, Joe, they're not trying to get behind the neck just yet. They're landing some damaging knees before they did.
However, you can see Super Jiao applying that vice grip and digs the head under the chin. It's a very good lock for a shorter opponent to do that because you've got the ability to grab the space in there and push your head under the chin, create frustration in your opponent.
And a beautiful left hand landed by Super Jiao as he throws a right elbow up the middle, an upwards elbow. Very nicely done. And the referee again breaks him up. This has been a very good battle of the head kicks and elbows. And a nice left hand down the middle by Nueng Siam to knock the head back. And again, Super Jiao throws that upwards elbow. And he throws it beautifully.
Less than a minute to go in this second round of our first bout of the afternoon. Nueng Siam taking on Super Jiao. Big teep there from Nueng Siam.
You see him there setting up that big left kick upstairs. Nueng Siam throwing that jab, flicking it out, and then Super Jiao is just constantly focused and marching forward as well. It's been a very nice round by both of these fighters as he throws knees in the clinch, and the referee's allowing him to keep going. Those knees are landing clean as the referee breaks him and brings him center ring, and that is the end of round number 2. A beautiful round by both of these fighters.
Moment only 2 rounds down, but I'm going to probably put it in Super Jiao's corner for this at the moment. Just the tenacity and relentless pressure of the clinch. If I were in Nueng Siam's corner, I'd be telling him to draw, and sit back on that back foot and fire off the left kick.
Very nicely announced. And Nueng Siam starts off very early. And he's been very successful with throwing that jab and flicking that left head kick upstairs. But Super Jiao's bodywork has been phenomenal in this fight so far. He's landed that right cross to the sternum several times over, and it'll take the energy away. I like Super Jiao's tactic of taking away the gas tank and taking away the weaponry of Nueng Siam, which seems to be that right kick.
Beautiful skip into right punch there from Super Jiao, returning the favor from Nueng Siam, upping the tempo here in round 3. That's what we like to see.
And the left elbow cuts Super Jiao. It looked like it was a slight well early on in the first 2 rounds.
And there he takes the back of Nueng Siam. Not scoring, but a very dominant show of positioning there in that last clinch exchange. Elbow for elbow at this point. Bit of blood on the cheek of Nueng Siam, but Super Jiao firing back.
And blood is pouring from under the eye of Super Jiao. It's been an elbow war so far. A battle of the clinch as Super Jiao fires a knee into the ribcage. What an exciting round we have in round number 3, halfway through this fight.
And all he sees is red, folks. That's all he's seeing. Super Jiao is on the hunt. Good positioning there by Nueng Siam in that last clinch exchange, putting the palm over.
Super Jiao is pushing forward, constantly taking the energy away of Nueng Siam, firing to the body, getting into the clinch.
Trying to push that palm over. Looking at the referee to break it apart. If you're watching at home, let us know what you think in the comments, folks.
Beautiful work by Super Jiao, and a sweep attempted by Nueng Siam and does not get it through.
Beautiful pushover of the palm from Nueng Siam, with Super Jiao trying to find the positioning with that vice grip, but just having a little bit of trouble finding the pace for it.
Twisting and turning, both fighters landing knee after knee, but Super Jiao again on the front foot, charging towards Nueng Siam, and Nueng Siam beautifully reads that by attempting a sweep. But Nueng Jiao is just relentless with those rights to the body, rights upstairs. But the blood is definitely going to affect him in these later rounds.
I got to say, Jimmy, I'm impressed by Nueng Siam's clinch defense here, doing a good job of nullifying a lot of these attacks. And that is the end of round 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Boots are on. We're about to get started. That is the bell for round number 4. Okay, in the red corner, Nueng Siam takes on Super Jiao in the blue corner. Both fighters are starting fast.
Kick for kick at this point with a little right teep answering the favour back from Nueng Siam, locking up into the clinch and side control here. You can see Super Jiao trying to fight for position and get that vice grip. And of course, our next fight, upcoming 110 pounds, is Robocop taking on Yodpayak, so make sure to stay for that. Big stabbing knee there from Super Jiao, with Nueng Siam applying that pressure across the face, disrupting Super Jiao's breathing.
Yeah, Super Jiao is just trying to take that gas tank away, but is Nueng Siam going to calm down? I don't think so. He's relentless. We're in the 4th round, scheduled for 5 as both fighters are in the clinch once again.
He's done a very good job of mitigating any of that forward clinch pressure from Super Jiao in the earlier rounds, but now he's returning the favour on the hunt from Nueng Siam. Straight in, knee for knee, locks up. Great strategy to run down the clock there. Veteran move there by the young Nueng Siam. Big teep there from Super Jiao.
And another attempt by Nueng Siam as well. Super Jiao has been relentless with those teeps and those rights upstairs and downstairs, but Nueng Siam is not deterred as he gets involved in another clinch and takes side control to attempt a knee. Very nicely done by both of these fighters, and an evasion by Super Jiao.
Entering the matrix there like Neo, the chosen one. Super Jiao back into the clinch. Nueng Siam trying to take the position, but Super Jiao takes the back, showing the judges who he thinks is boss.
And we are just less than a minute to go. Very nicely done by Super Jiao's corner to stop the bleeding of that cut. And a nice switch kick landed by Super Jiao, but Nueng Siam says, have one of your own. It's been a ping-pong battle of kicks so far.
That's right, it's a pinball wizard here. Just like the Who. Taking side control again. Shifting that knee. A good job by Super Jiao to nullify that clinch exchange there.
The crowd are going wild as Super Jiao fires a side kick and he attempts a sweep and he gets it and he lands on top of Nueng Siam. I didn't think he was going to get that one, Joe.
Here we are back in center ring. Nueng Siam back on the hunt. Steps in, step up knee. Not really lifting them high enough for my liking though, Jimmy.
I think he's just trying to do enough to impress the judges as Super Jiao catches a kick, and that is the end of round 4. Into this 5th and final round, that is the bell. In the blue corner, we have Super Jiao takes on Nueng Siam in the red corner as both fighters already in the clinch and now in the center of the ring.
And it looks like Super Jiao thinks he might have it because he's sitting on that back foot very comfortably, locking that back. I think that will be playing on the judges' minds. Some of that dominant positioning in the clinch in the earlier rounds, taking the back. Doesn't necessarily score, but it's kind of a secondary criteria that does play on the judges' minds there.
Absolutely. I mean, this is theater at the end of the day as well. You're trying to impress the ref, the judges, and, of course, the audience. As we see a beautiful step-up knee landed by Super Jiao. As Super Jiao keeps evading the damage of Nueng Siam. He looks very much in control on that back foot, dancing away, landing the counters. Very nicely done by Super Jiao.
You can see Super Jiao acknowledging it and egging Nueng Siam to come forward, just mitigating any forward pressure by teeps. Using that jab nicely, measuring that distance. Good evasion there, a bit of sort of Mayweather head work.
Absolutely, especially with the orthodox stance. He's almost making Nueng Siam miss a lot more. Usually when you have an orthodox against a southpaw, it's more difficult for the orthodox fighter. However, Super Jiao has just been relentless with those side kicks, those knees, those elbows. And he eats a big left hand from Nueng Siam, so Nueng Siam is definitely not giving up. But you can see the confidence of Super Jiao.
He's definitely been watching a lot of Tawanchai with that side teep that he's been emitting out there. There he is, skips in, just patters him a little bit. Applies that body lock to run down the clock. A veteran move by the young Super Jiao.
Super Jiao just peppered him with little shots as well, almost just teasing his opponent, now just dancing away. In and out.
Nueng Siam's got to do something here. He's got to pull something out of the bag.
He's got to go for a Hail Mary or something. He's got to try and get a knockdown or something just to try and get something in his favor. But I think Super Jiao, his confidence is just oozing out of him.
Here we are. Nueng Siam still on the forward hunt. Super Diao throwing out those Tarwanjai teeps and throwing him to the
takedown. Wow, what a way to set the stage, just throws him to the ground, ragdolls him out there.
Good evasion there, sidestep control from Super Diao. Footwork of a veteran. And
Beautiful
that is
round.
the end of the fifth and final round, ladies and gentlemen. Our winner, ladies and gentlemen, Super Diao in the blue corner with that dominant clinch performance. And then in round 4 and 5, mitigating the forward pressure by the young Nueng Siam. Side teeps for days. That's what we're all about, folks.